We are here in the month of Elul at another new moon. It is the new moon according to the customs of Israel, that the new moon would be when the moon has its first sliver of light. Okay, so there's other customs that consider the new moon to be when it's completely blacked out, completely dark. So some people, or some articles I saw, said that Elul started on the 2nd, but Elul actually, if we go by the customs of Israel, began today on the 4th of September, because it was when that first little sliver of light appeared. And this is how Israel would be able to witness and to mark when the new month had begun. Now, Elul is the 6th month on the sacred calendar and the 12th month on the civil calendar. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong calendar. It just requires discernment on which one you're going to pull prophetic revelation from. And for me, I don't hold too tightly to really rigid rules, because the Lord likes to switch back and forth with me. He likes to speak to me in many different forms. And so I'm not really rigid with the rules. But for the majority of the time, I'm using the sacred calendar. The sacred calendar is the calendar that was given to Moses, and this was implemented at the first Passover. Before that implementation, the Hebrew people went off the civil calendar. Moses received the sacred calendar at the first Passover in Exodus 12, verses 1 and 2, where the Lord gave the following instructions to Moses and Aaron, saying, "From now on, this month will be the first month of the year for you." So most of the times and for these breakdowns from month to month, I'm mostly concentrating on the prophetic significance tied to the sacred calendar, which would make Elul the 6th month. Now, this month is known as the Mothering Month. This month of Elul is associated with the constellation Virgo. In Latin, this constellation house is known as Virgo, but in Hebrew, it's known as Bethuel. Now, I know it upsets people that I connect the Hebrew months of God with the constellation houses or the zodiac houses, or in Hebrew, it's known as the Mazzaroth of God. But that is not just something I think is cool to do. That's actually because that's how God designed it. God set his calendar and his clock in the heavens. And it is unchangeable. And because of that, each month is correlated and corresponds with the movement of the celestial bodies. And each month, a new constellation moves to the forefront. And so in the month of Elul, we enter the constellation house of Virgo. And each of these constellation houses depict the story of God. The Lord always used stories and illustrations, parables, to teach the people. And so this is the way that the Lord communicates, in very illustrative ways. And so he placed the stars in the heavens in the beginning to be for signs. And this has been going on since ancient times. Every culture has some kind or some form of timekeeping and storytelling associated with the star bodies. Now, we know that there's obviously perverted forms and stories associated with the stars, and that really have become mainstream. But we really want to go back to the source of creation, of the heavenly bodies, to get the understanding and the revelation behind their stories, behind their movements and their orders, because God is the originator, he is the creator, and he is the one who implemented their orders. And the whole earth is connected to the movements of the stars in the heavens and to the calendar of God. So you can't separate the Hebrew months from the constellation houses. They go hand in hand, and that's the way God designed it. Constellation Virgo, or Bethuel, is the Revelation 12 woman of Israel. And Bethuel actually means man of God, representing Christ, virgin of God, representing the virgin, the woman of Israel who births Christ in the earth. This Bethuel also means house of God. So this woman, or this virgin, is illustrating to us, this constellation is illustrating to us the energy and the story behind the theme of this month. So this month is a mothering month. The theme behind this month is really like a loving mother coming to her children and saying, we need to get these things done, but don't worry, I'm going to help you get it all done. And this goes hand in hand with the element that is associated with this constellation. It is an earth element. It's very practical, it's very grounded, and it's very about getting work done. Last month we were in the month of Av, which is the constellation Leo, which is a fire sign, a fire element. And fire is really about your passions and becoming inspired to fulfill those passions. So moving into this earth element is really about, okay, we got the inspiration we needed. We, came to the conclusion that we needed to put ourselves out there and begin certain tasks, make some changes. And now moving into Virgo, it's really about, okay, how can we practically implement these steps and be wise about the next moves we're going to make in order to bring those passions forth. The ruling planet for this month is the planet Mercury. Mercury as well is associated with intelligence, analyzing and processing information. And Mercury is also all about commerce and financial gain. But Mercury also represents a nearness to God. It represents an increase of spiritual communication. So Mercury really represents closeness to God. This is going to be an increased spiritual connection and ability to hear and communicate with God. Mercury is actually the closest planet to the sun. And we know that the sun represents the father figure, and the moon represents the mother figure. So Mercury being the closest planet to God really represents or illustrates the mediator, which is Christ, our Holy Spirit. It represents just drawing near to God and a greater increase in spiritual awareness of God and relationship with God. Now, on Elul 1st, which is today, September 4th, Moses ascended Mount Sinai for the third set of 40 days. And he received the tablets of God for the second time, and that's found in Deuteronomy 9:18. So ascending the mountain is really about nearness to God. It illustrates coming face to face with God, coming up higher, making that sacrificial journey to come near to God so he can come near to us, and to really being intimate and alone with God, to hear what he wants to reveal to us, and also to just be in his presence, to be refreshed, to receive the glory of God. Moses came down with the glory of God. He was glowing with the glory of God. And now more than ever do we need that strengthening, that refreshing, and the glory of God to consume us and empower us moving forward. Also, on the 1st of Elul was the beginning. It marks the beginning of Teshuvah. And Teshuvah spans for 40 days leading up to the Day of Atonement. So beginning on the 1st of Elul, Teshuvah means returning to God. It is a call for God's people to turn back to their first love. During Teshuvah, the shofar is sounded every day and Psalm 27 is recited. This serves as an alarm clock and reminder for us to fall back in love with God. Elul actually translates to I am my beloved and my beloved is mine, which is found in the Songs of Solomon. It is the time for the beloved of God to come away with their king. This is the time and the month where what is broken is fixed. What needs to be fixed will be mended and repaired. Elul is the month where the king came to the field. The rest of the year, in order to come into the presence of the king before his throne, you had to go through all kinds of customs and protocols. And it was very difficult and scary, but once a year in the month of Elul, the king would come off the throne and would come down into the field to meet with everyone, even the common people, no matter how they were dressed or what they were doing, what their place in society was. They had a moment and a time designated to meeting with the king and getting intimate interaction that they normally wouldn't be able to get. And if they did, they would have to go through extensive protocol. This was God coming to casually meet with his beloved and to repair and hear the needs of his people. So as the king comes down into the field to refresh us, to strengthen us, to be intimate with us, let us in response turn to the Lord. That's what repentance is to turn towards God and away from sin, away from distractions and restlessness, and to return and turn towards God in embrace. Now, each of the 12 Hebrew months is associated with one of the tribes of Israel. And for the month of Elul, the tribe associated with it is the tribe of Gad. Shout out to the tribe of Gad. I am one of the tribe of Gad, the Native Americans in modern day. And the tribe of Gad was one of the first tribes to receive their inheritance. And I really believe this speaks to us prophetically about this month being a month for the first fruits of God to receive their inheritance. The tribe of Gad is associated with luck, fortune. They're also a warring tribe, so they're associated with attacking, overcoming, and being a troop of warriors. And so they were renowned for being warriors who protected the borders of Israel and camped in tents for battles. They stayed in tents on the outskirts of Israel, prepared to fight any invaders that would try to invade the camp. So Jacob's blessing over the tribe of Gad is found in Genesis 49:19, and it says, "A troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last." So Gad was one of the first tribes to receive their inheritance, but also one of the first tribes to lose their inheritance, because we know that Israel went into idolatry and was scattered throughout the nations, taken into captivity because of their disobedience. And so they were overcome, they were stripped of their inheritance, but it says here, he shall overcome at the last. And I believe we are that last end time generation, and we are in the last days, and these are the days in which we shall overcome. So because of the prophetic illustrations tied to this month, I really feel that we are stepping into our inheritance. I believe it's very possible that a wealth transfer could transpire this month, especially because of also the prophetic words that have gone out from prophets over the years about wealth coming in the time of the summer months. Now, Elul 19, which is September 22nd, is the last day of summer. And I do believe that this year will be a year of release and the beginning of Jubilees. So if that's the case, then the last day of summer is right around the corner. And I'm really hoping that we see a financial breakthrough and celebration happening before the end of summer. And remember how I mentioned Mercury being the ruling planet of this month is associated with commerce and financial gain. So there's just a lot of little signs that this could be the possible month. And a few days ago, I saw a word by a woman of God who said 49 days till you move, that the Lord said 49 days till you move. So I looked at the release date of that video she released, and I counted 49 days, and that puts it at September 20th or Elul 17. So this to me was just added confirmation, because I feel that I am going to move soon. My lease is up, and in the natural, there's plans to re-sign the lease, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm waiting till the very last minute because I really believe that the Lord is about to move me into a whole new place, and that it's going to be partnered with a whole new beginning. This is the rebirth. This is the birthing of something new. It is the sign of Virgo. We're birthing something new, and the old is passing away, and we're being rewarded. I truly believe that the month of Elul and the sign of Virgo, God is going to reward his remnant, his first fruits. This month is really about the birthing of kings, okay? Virgo gave birth to Christ. The woman, the heavenly woman, the heavenly constellation gives birth to Christ. And so this month, a theme is the birthing of kings. And we are the high priest and the royal priesthood, the kings and priests of God. And I believe he's going to birth us the manifestation of the sons of God out in this month. This is the time of new beginnings, new births, and the births and the commissioning of kings. And the Lord had given me the number 1717, which was a message of hope and encouragement and a reminder that God is with us. Remember, this goes in hand with the theme of the month of Elul, that the king is in the field. And so God is with us, and that he is going to provide for us no matter what challenges we face. 1717 also has to do with manifesting in the natural. Okay, so God's going to manifest his presence. He's going to manifest his favor over his people in this month. And the number 1717 is also associated with vision, agreement, promotion, rulership, and reign. Okay, there again, we have the kingship. Now in Jeremiah 32:9, I talked about how the Lord led me there because it mentions the number 17 and the purchasing of land. I believe it was for 17 pieces of silver, but the purchasing of land in this verse is about redeeming and possessing that land. And as I said, the Lord had allowed me to come across the word about in 49 days you will be moving. And so this was just more confirmation to the possessing of land, the possessing of the inheritance. And the Lord is really saying that this is a month of spiritual and financial increase. His remnant is going to hit the jackpot. I believe like within September, October, there's going to be a big shift. I surely hope. But the Lord's timing is perfect. And so we continue to stand in fortitude. And as I had said, that definition means a formal word that means the strength of mind that allows someone to face pain, danger, or adversity with courage. Okay, so we can be depended on to persevere through challenges and not give up easily. But I do believe that our hard work is about to pay off big time. Overnight turnarounds. I believe this month is going to be a plot twist that's going to work in our favor. And remember, Virgo is all about that motherly energy saying, we've got things to do. We've got things to accomplish. Let's make the plans. Let's implement the blueprints. And so God is saying, really refine your plans and agendas. Don't lose your head. If you come into a financial jackpot, do not lose your mind, okay? I just came across, and I have to go watch the video, but a video popped up on my feed about, it's an interview with a lawyer who works with people who have won the lottery, and it's supposed to be him giving advice from his personal experience. But I remember watching a documentary about people who had won the lottery and how a lot of them had like lost their mind, went and like spent and blew all the money, or were on drugs and ended up, you know, just like it ended up badly for them. So money is not the, you know, what we should be striving for. It is what we will do with the money that's important. that's important to God, that's important for building his kingdom. So God has just been reiterating the fact that he wants us to really be people who are philanthropists that really help the community and help the people, not only with the burdens of financial strains and helping them come into a better life, but giving God the glory and allowing ourselves to be mediators and vessels of God to reach the people with his love and to introduce them to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and not in a religious, off-putting way, but in an open embrace, in a casual way, coming forth with an open embrace that will touch the hearts of people. And it is not, the Lord never shames us or condemns us. He meets us as we are. He receives us as we are. And that love enters our heart and leaves us changed. And that's the hope. That's the ultimate, desire. That should be the desire of our hearts, to really change lives for the better and give God all the glory. So exciting month. And I will be doing further videos on the full moon that's going to be coming up and anything else the Lord drops into my spirit concerning this month. I hope this helps in any way and can bring you encouragement. As always, be blessed and stay encouraged.